What you've seen is just the surface. The archive is open, but the truth runs deeper. Subscribe now, before the next phase begins. And remember, the observer is always watching. Asterisk the Observer Program, location, United States. Ulbridge, Virginia. Present day. Mark Ellis, 36, is a government archivist. He works at the National Archival Center in College Park, Maryland, a place where forgotten documents go to be digitized and erased from memory day in. Day out, Mark scans files labeled for internal use only, top secret, 1987, classified until 2022 until today. Inside a dusty file box marked OBSVB 17-1976, he finds something that shouldn't exist, a set of documents. Referring to Project Observer, Sector B17. The report spans 172 pages. Names, timestamps, emotional analysis, behavior tracking. Every page maps the daily lives of residents in a place called Ulbridge, Virginia, the same quiet town Mark has lived in since he was 6. He flips to page 170. A single line makes his blood freeze. Subject, ME status, dormant. Do not trigger unless protocol breached. Risk level, moderate. His initials. His location. His life, documented like a specimen in a lab. Flashback, 2001. Age 12. Mark and his father sit on a lake dock, fishing. The water is still. The air, silent. His father speaks suddenly. If something ever feels fake, don't say it. Just watch. Quietly. Back to present. Mark returns home. He begins to notice the smallest things. Every neighbor says the same phrase in the morning. Another beautiful one, huh? Every night at exactly 6 p.m., microwaves beep across the street. No one ever moves away. No one ever moves in. He drives out of town, trying to leave, but the GPS resets. He turns down a dirt road, and his car simply dies. The local mechanic finds nothing wrong. Mark walks home, unsettled. The sign at the town entrance reads, Population 4026 the next day. After the town's oldest man dies, the sign still reads, Population 4026 that evening. He finds a VHS tape in his mailbox. No label. No sender. He digs out his old VCR, plugs it in. Static hums. Then, black and white footage. A wide-angle view from high above his street. The timestamp in the corner. 1983-04-21 to People Walk. Kids play. A mailman delivers letters. Everyone looks. Normal. Then, a voice. Male. Clinical. Behavioral levels. Stable. Subject B17-014 entering pre-trigger phase. Loyalty model at 91%. Continue observation. The image flickers. Noise. Then another voice. Direct. Not part of the recording. You broke the simulation. The next step is the archive. Location, Ulbridge Public Library. Midnight. Mark breaks in. It's abandoned. Dust coats the shelves, but the lights are on in the basement. He finds a locked maintenance door. Forces it open. A narrow staircase leads down. In the darkness, a room of servers. Screens. Wires. Cameras, and on those monitors, his street. His office. His bedroom. His face. From a camera inside his mirror. He stumbles back. On a nearby table lies a sealed file marked Project Observer, Technical Manifest, Sector B17. Trigger system. Linguistic, social, reinforced via controlled isolation. Reset protocol, phase 0. Mark breathes hard. The sound of footsteps. Someone else is in the basement. He kills the flashlight. Hides behind a rack of servers. A slow, deliberate voice echoes through the room. You weren't supposed to see this. You've become a variable. Which means the program must reset. Int. Basement surveillance room. Night. Mark holds his breath. He presses his back against the cold metal rack as footsteps echo from a staircase. The dim red light of standby monitors flickers across the room. A silhouette enters. Tall, motionless at first. Then a voice, calm and rehearsed. Subject ME is now compromised. Initiating recalibration sequence. Mark spots an emergency breaker box. He lunges, throws the lever. The room plunges into darkness. Screams of static flood the speakers. Then, Silence. He escapes through a service hatch into the storm drains beneath the library. Extension Aldbridge. Dawn. The town is eerily still. No cars. No sounds. The sunrise doesn't feel like salvation. It feels like surveillance. Mark hides. In his home. He seals the windows, smashes every digital device. Then he opens the file he took from the basement. Observer program. Phase 1 technical breakdown. It reads like a military manual disguised as behavioral science. Test site. Aldbridge, VA population. For 1,000 controlled participants method. Environmental loop reinforcement objective. Predictive. Conformity under full isolation, but then, something more disturbing. Subject ME designated as wildcard variable. Implanted during early childhood relocation. Monitored since 1997. Trigger readiness. High. Flashback. 1997. Government office. A 6-year-old Mark sits in a small room. An agent hands his father a clipboard. Agent. Quietly, he won't remember any of this. The conditioning begins as soon as he arrives in Aldbridge. Int. Mark's. House. Living room. Day. Mark pins the documents to his wall. Patterns emerge, but not like a puzzle. More like a closed system, designed to simulate real life, yet always returning to a fixed state. The town never grows. The town never shrinks. No national news ever mentions it. No map app truly locates it. Then he finds something buried in the back of the file. A list of dormant observers, names, codes, and final status reports. Point 1 entry stands out. E17-03. Ellis, Charles. Status. Terminated. Role. Guardian. His father. He realizes. His dad wasn't a bystander. He was part of the program. And his death, years ago, wasn't natural. MINT. Town Hall Archive Room. Night. Mark sneaks into Aldbridge Town Hall. The building is empty. Too empty. Inside the archive room, he discovers rows of red folders, each marked with citizen IDs. Photos, mental evaluations, response logs. A nearby computer terminal asks for voice authorization. He plays a recording of his father from an old cassette. Access override. Protocol Sigma Delta. The terminal unlocks. A message appears. Simulation stability. 97%. One variable detected. ME. Intervention Squad en route. ETA. 04:12. The clock reads 3:46 a.m. RINT. Old schoolhouse. 4:10 a.m. Mark breaks into the abandoned school on the edge of town. Once real, now clearly staged. Inside. Rows of unused desks, fake chalkboards, painted on bookshelves. He searches the basement. Hidden beneath a desk is a data canister labeled Observer Sync Core 1980-2004. He plugs it into a mobile drive. The files load. Simulation restarts. 17 memory adjustments. 4,026 subjects observer notes. Mark Ellis is increasingly self-aware. Delay reset. Then the screen glitches. A message overrides the display. The observer has breached limits. Initiating containment. Final protocol. Synthetic erasure. Extension Aldbridge Streets. 4:15 a.m. Siren sound, but not emergency sirens. Low-frequency pulses. The kind that press against your skull from the distance. Black vans, unmarked, entering the town from every road. Inside each, agents in grey uniforms. No insignia. No faces. AINT. Mark's house. Final moments. OF Part 2. He rushes home. He pulls floorboards in his father's study, finds a sealed envelope marked, to ME, if they ever come back. Inside, a map of the original observation center, dated 1974. The location is outside of town, deep in the woods, marked, Site 0. The beginning of the lie. The envelope also contains a key. A note reads, "It's not just Aldbridge. This is one of many. If you make it to Site 0, don't trust what you see. And whatever you do, never speak the trigger." Outside, headlights cut through the windows. Mark grabs the map and runs out the back. Extension, deep woods outside Aldbridge. Night. Mark moves cautiously through thick underbrush, clutching the old map and a worn key. The moon is a sliver, the forest alive with distant animal calls and the faint hum of drones overhead. Every step feels like a countdown. Int. Underground facility, Site 0. Mark finds a rusted steel door embedded in a hillside. He uses the key. The lock clicks open with a groan. Inside, a labyrinth of cold, sterile hallway stretches out, illuminated by flickering fluorescent lights. Screens line the walls, showing live feeds of Oldbridge residents, all frozen, as if paused in time. A synthetic voice echoes, "Welcome. Subject ME. You have arrived at the origin point. The truth you seek is the one you fear." Int. Control room. Mark enters a vast control room filled with consoles and holographic displays. In the center, a figure sits, indistinct, cloaked in shadow. The figure speaks without turning. "Your life has been a simulation, Ellis." Oldbridge is a closed system designed to study conformity, isolation, and control. Every thought, every action monitored and adjusted. Mark's breath quickens. He replies, "Why me? Why my family? Why my father?" The figure slowly stands, a woman, mid-40s, with piercing eyes. "Your father was one of us, a guardian tasked to maintain the illusion. You were the wildcard, the experiment to test resilience." Mark's hand trembles. He looks at the screens, his own childhood, his neighbors, his own face frozen in time. Flashbacks interspersed. Scenes of Mark's father working in the control center, conflicted but dutiful. Children laughing in playgrounds that are clearly staged sets. Scientists monitoring heart rates and brainwaves of Oldbridge residents. Int. Control room. The woman offers Mark a terminal. On the screen, two options: reset, erase the variable, your memory, your existence. A release, break the system, risk chaos, but freedom. Mark's eyes dart between them. The system warns, choice must be made in 3 minutes. Failure. To decide will initiate automatic reset. Extension Oldbridge, outside Site 0, night, outside, black vans circle the perimeter, agents ready to intervene. The town remains silent, waiting. INT. Control room. Mark's fingers hover above the keyboard. The memories, the lies, the truth, all collide. He types, "Release," and hits enter. INT. Oldbridge, various locations. Suddenly, the town glitches. The sky flickers. People freeze and then begin to remember, flashes of clarity breaking the program haze. Neighbors look at each other, confused but awakening. Int. Control room. The woman watches, a mix of awe and dread. You've broken the cycle, but at what cost? The screens show Oldbridge's population beginning to stir, to act unpredictably. Extension Woods. Dawn. Mark exits Site 0 as the first light of dawn breaks. Behind him, the facility powers. Down. Silence falls. He breathes deeply, uncertain but free. Voiceover. Mark. The observer program wasn't just an experiment. It was a prison. And the truth is worth breaking out for.